This tent structure is meant for small groups. If you don't have trees, you could have a couple of these lined up against any chain link fence or any existing fence you have. I'm on site here at my own house and I have a farm fence. Like I said, it could work on any other kind of fence. I've just got a simple 8x8 tarp and I've used an assortment pack of bungees to attach it in 2 places, and I've attached 2 stakes. Now, if your ground is hard or dry, you might need to borrow a post driver to stick those in, but you can also just, with sturdy shoes, push that into the ground. And then using my bungee, think like you're camping, I'm wrapping it around and securing it. This would be good for about 3 students in a triangle formation and something you can easily set up. Something to consider is your lawn maintenance crew and how often they'll be mowing, but this could be good to provide shade and shelter in a light rain. All right, so now we're thinking flexible seating. Instead of flexible seating, it's actually flexible shelters. This is just another style, think camping. We've got a clothesline that's tied between 2 trees. These trees aren't particularly shady, but they were what we have. So we tied a line, we put the tarp over there, and using these bungees and some simple camping stakes, we've created another shelter, probably for a small group, 3 to 5 kids, and a teacher maybe instructing over here. You've got some shelter, and even if you were doing small groups where you had a few of these and the teacher was monitoring, you can still see the children underneath and monitor them and make sure that they're not elsewhere on the grounds. So with just a few simple bungees and the tarp, we've created another situation. One more flexible shelter option. This is more of a lean-to. We've still got the same rope across, and we've tied, I would use zip ties on this project, to that line, 2 corners of the tarp, and we've staked 2 other corners down with our camping stakes, and then you get a couple of kids under the shelter for when that sun's really beating down in September. I highly recommend you think about how you're going to get to a space and get back inside. I have a wagon here. I really like this option because you can make it a mobile classroom. You can put a dry erase board on the side of it, a weather chart on the side of it, some of your weather station items on the back, and it can serve to slow down some kids who might need a helping hand and you can't hold their hand. Maybe they can be in charge of this. You want to be clear from the very beginning, this is not to carry children, because you can't have your whole class in here. This is a tool box that the children might help you with. Of course, you want to think about sanitizing that handle in between if you can manage it. So you can pull this right up to your flexible seating. Let's talk some more about seating. I've got some different options here. First of all, arranging a circle of stumps around in your space could be one option. That might be hard to source when time is of the essence. Also, you can think about straw bales. I happen to have this hay bale sitting around. Now keep in mind, if you look out in the weather, these will get wet. You can utilize these for about a season, and then you'll want to dispose of them and have a plan for that. They'll be very heavy after sitting outside. Also, you might want to think about putting something down on top. It can be uncomfortable to sit on this, but they're relatively inexpensive to buy and easy to move. Some other options that I have in my mobile classroom is a simple Homer bucket. I got this at Tractor Supply. The children could pack this up if they each had one. Maybe it could be a school supply that they bring. And they can either sit on it like this, or you can utilize it as a seat and a desk. Of course, these will become drums, so hopefully music is part of your program. The last option I wanted to talk about is probably the simplest and the easiest for families to send into school. You can simply lay out a beach towel. It's not exactly 6 feet. It's more like 4.5 or 5 feet, but this would give children a place to sit. It's very easy to move and spread them out on the lawn under a tree. You want to think about those dewy mornings. If you go out first thing, it might be still damp even though it's not raining. So you could double up the towel to sit on. This will also help children who have sensory issues on sitting on grass. For some kids that is something that is very uncomfortable. The reason I like the wagon is that you can pack up a couple of different ways to meet those students' needs. If they pick the grass, it's okay. If they throw the grass, it's going to be annoying, but it's not going to hurt anyone. Those are some of the things that are good for children to have some sensory experiences, be able to put their fingers into the ground as they listen and interact with you for the day. One more thing I want to talk about while we're out here is what I pack when I go outside with children. I always have a backpack, but you might be more comfortable with all of this in your wagon so that you can pull it out as needed. I always have my mask with me and a sun hat in case it's getting hot outside, because you need to take care of yourself as well. Of course, I have my hand sanitizer. You might even install a large one here on your wagon for a kid that is very scared of insects. Something comes along crawling them. Having some sort of containment device so you can turn that fear into a learning moment is very helpful. You scoop that insect up and you talk about that insect right in the moment, normalizing that experience for them. Of course, you're going to pack your first aid kit, and something that I know all teachers know about is a Ziploc baggie. It's about the same size as a piece of paper. You can put the work of the day in there and individualize it for each student. Put some dry erase markers in there or have their pencils in there. I don't need to tell you about that. At some of the teacher supply stores, they have small whiteboards that you can use while you're doing readings. You have that interactive writing piece. And they also have products like this that are the pouches. I know you know about these. This one has some math examples on the back. But those are a few things that I always pack with me when I'm learning with students. Another option for that bug box is one of these little guys. Fine motor skills, it captures that insect, gives the child control, but also protects the insect's life. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing behind the scenes a little bit, and now we'll talk some more back in our session.